The Celebrity Reflection is the fifth and largest Solstice class ship. So that's the class right before the Edge class. It launched in 2012 and holds 3,046 guests. Hey everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie. Welcome to the Celebrity Reflection. Hopefully you're a subscriber, so you've seen some of my other cruise ship tours here on Celebrity. If you're not, I invite you to subscribe. I post cruise ship tours, all-inclusive resort tours, and all kinds of travel experience videos. I'm in the Cellar Masters right now, and this is one of the areas that is unique to the Celebrity Reflection. A lot of the other Solstice class ships have revised this area and turned it into a sports bar, but here on the Reflection, it's staying a wine bar. We're going to start the tour down on deck 3, but first I want to let you know this is the first video in a series on the Celebrity Reflection. We'll have the ship tour, a dining guide to all of the restaurants on board, the included restaurants and the specialty restaurants, and an in-depth look at the Reflection Suite and what it's like to be a guest in the retreat. So let's head down to deck 3 and get started. Deck 3 may not look like this when you're on board the Celebrity Reflection. Today it was set up for the art auction. So that's why you see all the paintings all around. They're gearing up for a champagne art auction. Here is the passport bar. So this is very popular in the evenings, but it has a lot of seats where you can sit around the bar or you can sit at one of these tables. In the evening where that covered up piano is, they'll have some of the live musicians play, which is a lot of fun. And then the dance floor is available once all those chairs get moved. But the art auction takes place a couple times during the cruise. They also have different lectures and more information about the artists on board. It really is a great way to get a free art education if that's something you wanted to learn more about. If you want to learn more about specific artists, they may have individual seminars just on a particular artist. This also has the open air elevator bank, so that is kind of fun when the band is playing to watch the people dancing on their way down. I have been guilty of that. How about you? Have you ever danced in the glass elevators? Let me know in the comments. Next to the elevator bank, we'll find the shore excursion desk. This is where you can sign up or change any of your shore excursions, but a lot of that now happens via the app. Celebrity does have an app where you can access shore excursion information. Lumine is the special dining room for the retreat guests. So these are the suite class guests, and I'll have a whole video just on the experience of being in the suite coming soon. Heading to the other side of deck 3, we're going to find another dining room. This is the lower level of the Opus restaurant. The Opus restaurant is the main restaurant or main dining room, you may have heard it called. It has set dining options or a My Time option. The dining room continues upstairs to deck 4. And one thing I want you to note as you're going around the ship on your cruise is take a look at all the art. So a lot of the art has individual tags that will tell you more about the piece or the artist. And sometimes they even offer an art tour where you can go around the ship and view a lot of the more special pieces or things that were curated especially for the Reflection. So coming upstairs, we'll see the rest of the Opus restaurant. So the way it works, you have a set dining time, an early or a late dining time, and then you can do My Time. So basically what My Time means is that you would come to the desk, request a table for 2, 4, 6, how many there are in your party. Then you may have to wait. You might be given a pager to wait until that table is available. It gives you more flexibility to have My Time, but you may have to wait while people are dining through the very popular times around 6:30 to 8:30. And here's an overlook of the whole Opus dining restaurant. You can see that little wall to the left. That's where Lumine has been walled off from the main dining room. Heading towards the front of the ship, we will find one of the most popular areas on any celebrity ship, and that is the Martini Bar. Who's been there? Wave your hands in the comments. It has basically 2 sections. So this section is kind of the chill lounge vibe. I love how they have little kind of individual rooms. So if you're in a smaller group, this is a great place to hang out. But where the action happens is right here at the bar. This isn't iced top, so it's supposed to keep your martinis cold. Some of the bartenders will flip bottles in the air. They'll pour multiple martinis at the same time. It's a really fun place to hang out. In the evenings, they'll have a DJ up here in between the sets of live music down on deck 3. So it becomes very lively, very hard to get a seat. So come early and grab your bar stool if you want to experience all the fun that is the Martini Bar. Now we're going to head in to that area I was talking about at the beginning of the video. So this is Cellar Masters. It's a lovely wine bar that offers tastings, wine flights, and a great sommelier to help you try some new wines. Hi, Editor Angie here. I just want to let you know for this little next part, buckle your seatbelts. I had the wrong setting on the GoPro, so it's going to go by real fast. As we continue forward on the ship, we'll head towards the shops and the casino. So there's a fairly large casino. They have a number of slot tournaments. You have the casino bar with the TVs, and then a number of shops of high-end merchandise, as well as souvenirs, duty-free liquors. This area turns into a game area at night. It has the Future Cruise there on the left, and then the meeting rooms here on the right. The Celebrity Central was used mostly as a lecture hall and a movie theater during our stay, and then you head into the Reflection Theater. Woo! Thanks for sticking with me. So this is the Reflection Theater, had different activities throughout the day depending on the schedule, and then in the evening there was a number of shows. We had Rebel guest performers. There was a trio that sang all different kinds of pop contemporary music. There's also a cast on board that performs different shows, so every night there were 2 shows. Up to deck 5, this is the upper level entrance for the Reflection Theater. You can also head outside here. As you can see, this is the deck where the lifeboats hang out. You can walk almost all the way around. You do have to cut inside at one point. The lifeboats take up a lot of the view, but about midship, it does open up a little bit. There are chairs there if you're looking for a quiet space to hang out. Heading towards the back of the ship, we'll come across the photo gallery. There are professional photographers on board. They'll have different setups and backdrops that you can take your picture in front of. They'll walk around on the deck. They'll be there when you get into port. Them taking the pictures is free, and then you can look over all the pictures and decide which ones, if any, that you want to buy. They both have printed and electronic packages. Here on deck 5, there are more shops. These are kind of the higher end shops, so purses, watches, jewelry. At the photo gallery, you can also buy cameras and camera accessories, so your GoPros. They have Apple watches there as well. You see here are more of the high-end watches, and then this is where the permanent exhibit of the art gallery is going to be. These pictures will change throughout your cruise, so it's kind of fun to see what artists they're highlighting as they prepare for the different seminars and art auctions. Here's the John Hardy store. Celebrity has really pushed hard to bring some higher end brand names into their ships. This is a high-end watch brand, so they're trying to make it an onboard shopping experience at sea. This is the World Class Bar. This is those high-end premium cocktails. None of these are in the classic beverage package. You would need to upgrade to the premium beverage package if you wanted to have those included. Otherwise, you can just pay the difference or pay for your cocktail if you don't have one of the beverage packages. Here is another very, very popular place, the cafe. This is for all your specialty coffees, your lattes, your teas. They have snacks and different pastries available throughout the day. Across the way is Sushi on 5. This is an extra cost specialty restaurant. Everything is priced a la carte, so priced by the item. And they have incredible ramen and sushi. And I'm going to talk more about this in my dining video that's coming out. We tried almost everything on this menu, so I can give you a full review of all the different options. I will say here, though, ramen was one of my favorites. Oh, there's those chairs I was talking about. We are midship. This is where it kind of opens up in between the lifeboats, and there's chairs just outside Sushi on 5 and the outdoors. So back to the main elevator bank. This is kind of how you know you're midship. They have that list of every floor, what's on each floor, so that can help keep you navigate all the different areas. Here's the forward staircase, and then you can see there's another entry point out onto that deck 5 walk around deck. Now we're heading towards the ensemble lounge, and this area is so interesting. So all the Solstice class ships have it. They have this just like blank area that's weirdly decorated, great for photos. It evolved into Eden on the Edge class ships. There'll be an Ascent video coming out soon on this channel, so I'll talk more about that then. So this is the ensemble lounge. There's live music here in the evenings before dinner time. Michael's Club, this is the lounge exclusively for those in the retreat. I'll talk more about that in my retreat video. But they had the piano player here, the guitar player, so lots of different options. Great place to get cocktails or just relax. Murano is here. This is the French restaurant, another specialty restaurant. It is an extra charge. One of the big things here is they serve tableside. So they prepare your food tableside. Some of it's even cooked tableside. And it's a per person charge. So you don't pay per the item. Here's another piano on the Reflection. This is where the different bands would set up when they're playing the evening music before dinner. Heading towards the back of the lounge, we'll find the men's room. The women's room was right when we walked into the lounge from midship. And this area in the back of the ship is a trio of specialty restaurants. Again, you have another empty room to walk through. I'm very curious about these rooms, what their thought process was, just to have big empty rooms. I guess to help the flow of people. That must have been it. Heading back here, this is, I call this the forest because it really looks like it. You even have a piece of wood right there ready for you. I think it's supposed to resemble a chair, but they don't let you sit on it. To the left is cuisine. So this now has the Le Petit Chef menu. This is where they project a cartoon onto your plate and that makes the food and then you eat the food. Blue is a specialty restaurant only for aqua guests. It's included for aqua guests. It has breakfast and dinner daily, but you have to have booked an aqua class cabin. Those cabins also have access to the thermal suite in the spa. Tuscan Grill is an extra charge specialty restaurant. This is Italian. This was my favorite specialty restaurant. Spoiler alert for the upcoming dining video. We had a terrific experience here. The service was great. The food was really good. The breads were excellent. That's always a good sign of an Italian restaurant. Now heading back towards midship. Now we're going to head up to some of the secret, not so secret areas of the ship, or at least places I think most people don't visit during their cruise. First up to deck 6. Now all of these areas are right near the elevator bank midship. So if you're trying to recreate this and find them, just head up the glass elevators and you're going to be able to see all of these different little areas. So first up on deck 6 is the Celebrity Eye Lounge. This is where all the Apple products are stored. This would be kind of your computer lab if you needed to access your email or your device wasn't working, if you need any help connecting to the Wi-Fi. A lot of people, book Wi-Fi as a part of the all-inclusive package when they make their booking. Now heading up to deck 7, this is an area called the Hideaway, which I think is so fun because it is kind of hidden. One really cool thing about this area is they have coffee in the morning. So if you are on deck 7 midship, you can just hop in here and grab some coffee versus having to get it via room service. And they have all kinds of really cool fun chairs. So if you're looking for a fun photo shoot, you could be up in this little nest up here. There you can see the glass elevators going up and down. Here's the big coffee machine. They also have hot water for tea first thing in the morning. Heading up to deck 8 and 9. So we're all the way up to 9 now. So deck 8 had just kind of part of the Hideaway. That's where that nest was. But then deck 9 is the proper game room. So this is called Game On. And a lot of people were playing games here throughout the cruise. It has these TVs that are embedded in these tables so you can play different games on there. To be honest, I tried to figure out how to play these and I couldn't quite figure it out. Daily, they put out a Sudoku puzzle and a crossword puzzle that you can pick up here. They also have board games you can borrow if you want to play a game in like a checkers or something like that. They have it here in Game On deck 9. Then up on deck 10 is going to be your library. So they have all of these cool, quiet spaces. The only downside to me is that they don't have an ocean view, but it feels very open because you're in that, glass elevator atrium. You get light from above, especially here in the library. You can just take a book, leave a book, enjoy the view. We actually sat here one night and listened to the band play because there wasn't anywhere down on deck 3 and it had great acoustics. And so that was kind of fun. Up to deck 12, this is where the offices of the concierges are located. If you book a concierge class cabin, you have access to a concierge. And this is where their desk will be. They'll send you little notes. You have some appetizers that you get, and they may host special events. It's also where the Captain's Club concierge is located. If you have a higher level, like an elite status, you can use the concierge to answer any of your questions. Actually, anybody can go to the Captain's Club concierge if you have any questions. They are also the ones that issue the special invitations. Now, we are going to head to the front of the ship to see the spa. So the spa area is located in the front of deck 12. The fitness center is on the starboard or right-hand side. You can see here there's a consultation area if you want to do acupuncture. They have a studio with spin classes. Some of the classes are an extra charge and some are included. If you're interested, I recommend coming to the spa on the first day because they have a tour that they do. They introduce you to all the different services that are available, let you know how to sign up for the different classes and whether it has a charge or not. So it's a good time to come kind of on the first day when there's a lot of people around. The fitness center has great views. It's so fun on all the cruise ships because these fitness centers are usually located somewhere with a really good view. They have lots of bikes, treadmills, ellipticals. They have stretching classes in the morning. Those are always included. They may have a yoga class that's included with free weights and weight machines. And then you have this deck right in front of the ship. You can go out there and hang out. This is a great place to be if you just want a quiet area in the sun, especially if we're in port. You'll have a great view. Also really fun if we're pulling into or out of port. That's a good place to be right on deck 12 in front of the fitness center. So kind of walking through the spa area, there's the different treatment rooms. There is a thermal suite area. The spa on the Reflection is 2 levels. I had to go down to get to my massage area. And then they have the Persian garden, which is a set of steam rooms, a shower, and those tiled heated loungers. You can pay for access to that, or it's included with Aqua Class. And then this is the relaxation room that is included in the thermal suite pass all the way to the front of deck 12. Heading upstairs to deck 14, there's no deck 13. That's a fun thing to know about the Reflection. They skip it because I think in the US it's considered unlucky. The Sky Lounge. This is a place where a lot of activities take place, especially trivia. Also where special events are held. During our 2 sailings, they had special groups on board that took over this lounge every night. They have live music here. You can see it's set up for the band to play with a dance floor in the evening. It kind of takes on more of a nightclub vibe. But we went to a lot of trivia here. Also the Captain's Club parties were here. They have the upper bar with bar stools all the way around. And then heading to the front of the ship, they have this great view. Now, on some other ships, I've liked the furniture better. This furniture is really spread out, so it doesn't have as many chairs as some of the other lounges we've been in. And some of the other lounges actually make a row of chairs right in front of the windows, which is really nice. But it's great if you're in a smaller group because it really is set up for like groups of 6 to hang out. But it's kind of awkward when there's just 2 of you. To the right here is going to be the suite corridor, and you're going to be able to go behind that door in my suite video coming up. Behind that are the signature suites and the Reflection suite, the #1 suite. The Spa Cafe has breakfast and lunch. They have smoothies that you can purchase for an extra charge, or it's included in the premium package. And it has things like you can see here, fruit. There's bagels with peanut butter and banana. So the idea is to have more healthy options available, gluten-free muffins, cookies made of apples without a lot of sugar. You can request a turkey wrap or oatmeal for breakfast. You have to order them from the waiter. You can also get a turkey sandwich at lunch. So don't miss those. Make those special orders because they're really, really good. You just have to ask the person that's working there replenishing the food, and they will place the order for you and bring it out to you. It takes about 10 minutes usually. This is the solarium, so it's the indoor pool. It's adults only for most of the day, so there was a sign that they were going to let kids in here in the afternoon. I think they do that on sailings where the weather can be a little bit cooler, just so kids have a place that's warm to swim. But otherwise, it's adults only. It has really comfy chairs. There are bar waiters that walk around every now and then. Otherwise, you would have to go to the main pool area to grab a drink. The whirlpool does have a lift to get in and out. You just need to grab one of the pool attendants to let them know that you'd like to use it, and they'll get it all set up for you. These have great views. I love this trend as ships were built in the mid 2000s, 2010s to add the whirlpools to the side so they have a much, much better view. Coming out to the main pool deck. So right now we're walking from the front of the ship to the back of the ship. We never saw this Sea and Sun kiosk open. It actually used to be a smoothie bar in some of the other Solstice class ships, but they've shut it down pretty much everywhere. You can see these are all shaded lounge chairs underneath the overhang, and then coming out to the open pool area, you have the pool bar. This is one thing I don't like on the Solstice ships compared to the Millennium ships is this pool bar. The Millennium pool bars are so much bigger, and they're round and they're kind of to the sides. You have an ocean view. But this is in the heart of the action. So I guess that's kind of fun too, to have the pool bar right there. But those seats were filled the entire sailing. So you can see here they've set up the chairs to maximize how many can fit in the area. They have life jackets available for kids right here. And these are all shaded. So I think it's interesting that if you really want a sunny chair, you're going to want to be right next to the pool or to go to the upper decks. Now, I love this because I love shade. So I'm not trying to get sunburnt on vacation, but I think it is hard for folks who want a really sunny chair. The Ocean View Cafe is located all the way at the back here on deck 14. This is the buffet. It's open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They don't have sinks here, which I think is interesting. They just have the hand sanitizer. This is where the officers usually are. So if you're looking for an officer, they usually kind of hang out right there and have their dinner. Then coming in to the buffet, the first thing you'll pass is the ice cream shop, and sometimes they have candy. So I've never seen candy on other cruise ships other than Celebrity, but if you're looking for candy, you want to head to the ice cream place and see if they have any. Now let's take a peek inside the buffet. It's set up as like individual stations. So this is like an Indian Asian station. They had omelets they would prepare for you made to order in the mornings. This is the breakfast buffet, so you always have a carved meat for all your meals. Ton of fruit options, which is pretty impressive that they keep them fresh throughout the whole sailing. That you have your different eggs, corned beef hash, hard-boiled eggs, the frittata, different types of muesli and yogurt, cottage cheese, more carved meats, different types of rice, vegetables, sausages, bacon. So pretty much everything you could want is right here. They also have pancakes and waffles. There's coffee and tea, different types of milks available. They have a large selection of teas, more than I've seen on some of the other cruise lines to be included. So they have black teas. And then these are the included beverages that'll kind of switch out. So it's usually some type of juice, a lemonade, a fruit punch, an iced tea, depending on the time of day. So heading towards the back of the ship, you can see all the different seating options. The chairs don't have arms. If that's a concern for you, you can find a good seat here. And then they're kind of set up so you could sit 6 together, but then you can also kind of pull that table apart to do a table of 2 and a table of 4. If you head all the way to the back, that's usually where the open seating is going to be because there's no more buffet back here. Now there is another drink station that isn't always open, so check that out before you commit. Now, I love this area out here. This is where we would eat our meals. It's so nice to be able to eat outside and enjoy the views. This is a little bit different than some of the other ships in that there isn't a bar out here. They did have a cart available that had beers, waters, sodas, and wine available throughout the day, but there's no bar. The bar is located up the stairs. This is the Sunset Bar. And you can see it has these cool little bar stools. These light up at night, so it's really fun. Half of the bar is smoking, half of it is not. So as you're facing the back of the ship, the right side or the port side is smoking, the left side, the starboard side is not. It gets a little weird at the bar, I have to tell you. So like sitting on one of those stools, you can get a little bit of smoke because it comes the smoking area comes right up to the bar. The seating is very comfortable though, and we really enjoyed being out here, especially at night. It was a great place because there's a slight breeze coming off the ocean. Now this is the lawn. It was not in good shape in our February sailing. It's supposed to be able to play bocce ball or different games, maybe horseshoes out here, but it needed a lot of work. Now these are special cabanas. They are an extra charge. You can rent them for the day. Included will be a little platter of fruits and cheeses. You can order a bottle of wine. You can order, different drinks according to your drinks package. Out on the lawn, they have the hammocks and the big chairs. But again, a lot of the lawn was under recovery during our sailing, so they didn't spend a lot of time out there, though they did let you have the beanbag chairs to watch the movies. Throughout the sailing, they had movies every afternoon at 3:00, which we loved. We thought that was really fun. Then they also had movies in the evening. The restaurant you can see here is the Lawn Club. So this has burgers for lunch on sea days and then a grilled meats in the evening. You can practice your putting just outside of it. You see they have the little putters and golf balls there as well as the tiny little holes. We actually didn't see anyone doing that, and I'm surprised because it looked kind of fun to me. But the Lawn Club does require reservations. So does Murano Cuisine, Tuscan Grill, the other specialty reservations. You can make those in advance on the app or once on board in the app. The studio is a special setup of fine art photography. So if you wanted more of a formal portrait where it's like the black background, have like a whole half an hour with photographer, you would set that up. You see the ping pong tables are in here by the elevator. So I appreciate that they wanted to move the ping pong inside to help with wind and help with losing the balls. But it is so awkward to walk off of that elevator as someone's like about to hit a ping pong ball. It's so weird. Now here is the porch. This is another one of my favorite restaurants on board. It is a specialty restaurant, extra charge. It was open for lunch and dinner during our sailing, and it has tons of seafood. So if you love seafood, this is the place to go. They have a really fun seafood tower with all different types of seafoods on it. Again, I'm going to get more in depth in that in my specialty dining guide, my guide video that's coming out next. So be sure to look for that. Now we're up on the deck. So this is what I was talking about. This is if you want to get sun, you're going to need to head up here to deck 15. You can see the official walking track is around here. Now this does get tight, so I can see why a lot of people head down to deck 5 to walk around on the open deck there, because you are weaving in and out of chairs. Now this gives you a really good look of the pool area. The track, as you can see, it goes around. There is some shaded areas up here on deck 15 depending on where the sun is located. So you have some different options where to sit. Now people turn these chairs towards the windows and that makes less seating. There is an additional smoking area here on the port side at the mast bar. So it is a bar with smoking right next to it. And you can see the pool area here. So you can see there's the 4 whirlpools and then basically 2 pools with the seating all around it. Right now, I'm on top of that pool bar. So we're standing right above the pool bar we saw down below. The Mast Grill is open for lunch throughout the day. You can see they have like a little bar with beers there. It's basically hamburgers and hot dogs. Now, you can special order a turkey burger or a veggie burger, but they will act like it is the hardest thing you've ever asked them to do. They'll be like, oh, it's going to take 20 minutes. It's going to take half an hour. So just prepare your heart when you go up there that you're going to have to wait for a turkey or a veggie burger. Now, you can see these chairs. People move these chairs all the time around, so this gets quite chaotic. I'm just going to be honest. Right here, trying to walk around the track, the people have moved the chairs all around. If you're serious about walking, I would go down to deck 5. It makes things a little bit easier. Heading inside, we're going to see some of the kids' areas. Now, Celebrity in general does not attract a ton of children. Our sailing had barely any. You may see more kids on, the sea days. They have an area for 13 to 17-year-olds where they can kind of go in and hang out, kind of like a chill zone. Camp at Sea is supervised activities. It's more like a drop-off kind of daycare, day camp kind of vibe that they have here on deck 15. You can, read the hours. It'll be in the program. But again, you're not going to have a ton of kids. Now, we've met families who love that. They love that it's not overrun with kids. Their kids get a lot of individual attention in the kids programming. So just, keep in mind what's best for your family. Here's the Solstice deck. This is an additional seating. There is no bar service up here. So if you just want a quiet place to hang out in the sun, this may be a good area. On other Solstice ships, this has been changed into a retreat sun deck, but they haven't done that yet. And in fact, on the Reflection, we thought it was kind of like the ship that got left behind because it hasn't had the updates of the other Solstice ships, and I think that's why people really like it. Here it overlooks the basketball court. I love that, every ship has a basketball court and some more seating, more of a sun deck area here that overlooks the front of the ship. And that is the Celebrity Reflection. What did you think? I really hope you subscribe so you see the dining video and the retreat video. And here's 2 more videos YouTube and I thought you might like.